Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast brought to you by TSWS Gaming.
Come and talk to me, Lennard Ray. That's your name. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby. Listen, I'm just saying we can rule the world, just me and you. If you were playing, won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Look, see we vibing and you know it's true. Baby, what it do? Do for me and I'ma do for you. No doubt about it, boo. See, I'm a Midwest king, looking for myself a queen. Ready to chase a dream with a dope self-esteem. You find it in all I know, and that's for real. You get to shaking that ass on the floor, and I see what's real. No disrespect, I just tell it like it is. Do you ever want some kids? What your ultimate goals? Maybe I can help with those. The mo was broke when he made you a blessing. You looking like a whole buffet, and I need some seconds. You say you had promiscuous ways, that was back in the day. I'll be alive, I say I did it. That shit was a phase. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you if you were playing. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Lady, you so far ahead of these others, just like a ship on the horizon. Picking up on your vibe, signal stronger than Verizon. All the thoughts that I've been contemplating, ain't no time for faking or debating. You the one, ain't no mistaking. Look, I see you swag different. Always carry yourself like you ready, you know the mission. I had to know you, I'm tempted. I can see why you timid. Hold up now, baby, listen. Just take that dance with me, I can show you that there's a difference. I'm locked in. I throw away my playaways because you pop in. A shooter always shoot a shot. With you by my side, I guarantee we'll reach the top. I put that on God and then I give you all that I got. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you if you were playing. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me.
Oh boy, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another fantastic episode of Behind Them Sticks with your boy Ham Solo 05 Gaming. I'm very happy to announce our guest of this evening, one of two actually, because I have two shows going on tonight. The first one is MrCh1valry Gaming. Go check out his YouTube channel. Really cool dude. He knows his lore within Halo and whatnot. It's really interesting talking to him. And I tell you what, man, you'll never catch me doing SWAT against this fool because he is a freaking maniac when it comes to that. But anyways, brother, going ahead and let everybody know what you're all about. Let people know how to get a hold of you in gaming or on social media or just how to get in hold of you in general or whatnot. You know, go ahead.
Sure. Hey, so I'm Mr. Chivalry. Like Cam said, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, pretty much anywhere. The GG app. I do reviews on there. Just at Mr. Chivalry with a one for the I, one word. Just want to say, thanks for having me on, Ham. I feel like we've been trying to do this for like 3 months, 4 months. We keep talking about it like over and over, and it was just like a scheduling thing. So, yeah, I'm just really happy that we could get it to work and get it scheduled, especially with you moving and everything. So, yeah, super hyped to be on. But I just recently started doing the content creation stuff, and you can check out my YouTube. It's probably in the description or something. And really just focused on the like YouTube shorts lately. I got my Monday, Wednesday, Friday shorts. So yeah,
You know
that's
what?
me.
I feel like an asshole because I was supposed to add the rest of the description in there, and I just spaced it, completely spaced it with dealing with my daughter, and I
Oh,
mean
you're good.
I'm gonna give you 5 excuses, you know, but
Okay, so
but
your
I just didn't do
daughter.
it. Okay, yeah, my daughter, you know, life, moving,
Right,
a
right.
lot going on. I'm tired. There you go, five. There's
All right.
five.
Those definitely seem like excuses.
Solid excuses. But anyways, you guys, make sure you hit that like button. I really appreciate you guys here. We are super live in the chat already, which is
Oh, yeah.
super dope. Chivalry said he was reaching out and letting people know that he was going to be
Hey,
on the show. So
yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat that answered the call to arms that I put out.
yeah, yeah.
Andrew, Shiv, looks like JJ, Sensei, Leo, Boss Key Podcast. I think that's McQuack. So yeah, thanks everybody for showing up.
Yeah, you guys are fantastic. And then the usuals are here as well. Let's see, Mr. Joanna Dark. He's always around. Stank Ma, you know I can't forget about you, bro. You are here like every single episode, right on time. It's just, it's fantastic. It's lovely to see everybody out here in support and whatnot. But let's go on ahead and get to the show. So let's keep it light at first. What have you been playing as of lately?
Yeah. So lately I'm going for the Detroit Become Human Platinum.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, it's getting a little, I just need it to be over at this point. I really love that game, and the first playthrough actually ended in just a horribly disappointing ending. And the worst part about it was I knew it was 100% my own fault that this ending happened. Like I was trying to get the happy ending, like the whole time I was like being peaceful. I didn't kill anybody, and I know the exact moment that like everything went wrong. And from that moment, like one of my characters died permanently. Like there was an all-out war at the end, and then another one of my characters died at the very end. So it was like, okay, that wasn't the ending I wanted. But I went back, to that point that I knew that I had messed up, and played again to the end. Got a second ending where everyone was happy, everyone lives. And now I'm starting like my third playthrough, which is just like the depressing. Everyone's mad at me all the time. Connor dies every chance he gets, and Hank hates him. Yeah, so trying to get that Detroit Platinum. It'll be my 5th Platinum. Playing Halo Infinite Season 2 multiplayer. Still grinding for my max level on that, and we've got the Entrenched event this week, so I'm playing that Season 2 just kind of lightly. I think I am actually kind of taking a break, but I still think I'm playing it currently, but I'm really just waiting for campaign co-op. And I just finished Fallen Order. I got the platinum for Fallen Order. So,
hey, not that long ago, I watched you platinum God of War, 2018.
Yeah.
You did the
that was
Valkyrie things, right?
Yeah, and I was planning to turn that into a YouTube video, but then I got very busy. So that's still in the works. I'm still editing that. But yeah, that was one of my live Twitch streams, and you were there, and that was awesome. And I think Colt was there, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, that was my 3rd platinum, and then I took a detour and did Fallen Order. So for my 4th platinum.
And that game is fantastic. I recently beat that game.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't 100%, and I'm not MrCh1valry. I beat the game.
And 100% it twice.
Oh man, you're out of your freaking mind.
Yeah.
I'm guessing on PlayStation and on Xbox. Is that right?
I did it. Yeah. Well, my wife got it for me for Christmas 2019, and then I 100% it on Xbox One X in 2020. It was like my favorite game I played in 2020. And then like the sequel trailer came out, and I was just like super hyped. And I was going on a trip to Detroit, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to, instead of playing Detroit Become Human in Detroit, I'm going to download Fallen Order on my PS4, take it to the hotel, and play Fallen Order for the 2nd time. So yeah, Xbox, okay. And then most recently PS4.
All right. Well, now it is history time. That's my favorite part of the show, is just digging up into people's past and kind of figuring out how the hell they got to where they're at right now. So before the show, me and MrCh1valry, we were talking a little bit, and I was like, yo, bro. So I usually ask everybody this question. What exactly was the first console that really kind of got you in the game? And he was like, the first thing I touched was a Game Boy, but I was like 2, but legitimately was the N64. Is that correct?
Right. We got the N64 when my younger brother was born, 1999. So
Oh,
it was
okay.
the first console.
Yeah, tell me what that was like. Going ahead.
Well, like I said, I was like 3. So mostly playing with my older brother. I think the game that sticks out to me the most is Super Smash. I'm playing that with my cousins and my brothers and just like trying to get all the characters unlocked. I also remember there was like a Pokemon Stadium game where you just like throw out Pokemon and fight. That's probably the most I've ever played of a Pokemon game was that game. I don't really play the Pokemon games. So but no, I really love the N64. Also, like the Zelda games, Ocarina of Time. I remember starting that and getting stuck on the Water Temple and never finishing it. I never finished it until the 3DS version was when I finished Ocarina of Time. So yeah, N64 was my first. But if I'm being honest, I think like the one that like held me as a kid was the GameCube. Like that's when I was fully like old enough to like appreciate it and like
So the
spend
next
long
generation.
hours. Yeah, just because I was so young when we did get the N64. But yeah, I think that next generation was when I was fully like engaged and like aware and able to put like hours into games. So
Okay, so going ahead and let me know, what was the first game that you can remember like getting for your
uh,
GameCube when you got
had
it?
to be, yeah, had to be Super Smash. Like that love carried
Melee?
over. Yeah, yeah. Melee was definitely my favorite. Like I love the original Smash Bros, but the chat is just like I cannot keep up with the chat.
No,
Sorry.
me neither.
I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. But yeah, I think like my cousins and my brothers, we all really liked the Smash games, like getting all the characters and all that stuff. So when Melee came out, it was like even more in depth, like doing all the target challenges and like you have to face like Dark Link. You have to do like all the solo stuff and get all the characters on the like we had like different memory cards and I remember we had like stuff written out on like paper of like, okay, this is how you get this character. We'd like fold that up and put it in the GameCube case. So yeah, I think Super Smash would be the biggest one.
Bro, when Melee came out, Roy was my boy. Like I used to use, Roy. Remember when you could go like hit the punching bag and whatnot?
Yeah,
And you could like do that that like home run derby thing. I used to like beat the hell out of it and then charge it up just in time, and then right when it hit 0, I was already going for that strike and it freaking knock it out of the park, man. That was my favorite character just because his swing, if you time it perfectly, it is OP. It's like
I think I've always been a Marth guy personally. I think my older brother really liked Roy. But like my cousins were the type of people they would like min-max games, like figure out the exact way to do stuff. So like we're trying to get the home run challenge. So I think we would always use it was either Fox or Falco because you could damage it with the gun, but it wouldn't move the bag. Like I think it was either one of those two because one of them their gun does move the bag.
I think it was Falco that the one that moved the bag was Falco, I think.
So you use Fox and then just like unload with your pistol because it's not moving the bag, but it's damaging enough. And like the more damage it has, the further it goes. So I think that's how we did the home run derbies. But yeah, Roy was split, but Marth, I think, was always my guy. He's got that crazy reach and he doesn't damage himself with his special. Because I think Roy, like if you mess it up, you can hurt yourself, right?
I don't remember, man. It was so long ago.
So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Definitely the big one.
So Smash was a big entrance to you into the GameCube, but what was the game? You know what I mean? The thing that you look back at the GameCube and you're like, man, like if it wasn't for that game, I wouldn't have gone down this genre of games.
Right. I'd probably say like Wind Waker, honestly, because that's probably my favorite Zelda game. At the time, I don't even think I really liked it that much. I think it was a little bit too difficult for me. Like I said, I got stuck on like the Water Temple and Ocarina of Time. But I think as I played it more, that game really sticks with me as like something that really like defined my childhood and like made me love games. It's got all the puzzles and the talking ship, and it's just a stellar game, in my opinion. So for that generation specifically, I think Wind Waker.
Okay.
Then even from there, not to derail too much, but like
No, you're fine.
when I got the DS, I went on to play like the sequels to Wind Waker, like Spirit Tracks, and oh God, what was the other one? 4 Spirit Tracks. I don't know. It was the same, like art style and everything. It was basically a sequel to Wind Waker. So yeah, I think Wind Waker was definitely very influential for me.
All right. Now, kind of bouncing away from Nintendo just for a quick second, I want to know, did you happen to have any other consoles or whatnot in the household that you were living in, or or did you just strictly play Nintendo back then?
So the way I always describe myself is I was a Nintendo kid. I'm obsessed with Xbox and I'm a PlayStation noob. So I think like the first I had like Game Boy Color, then we got the N64, Game Boy Advance, GameCube, Game Boy Advance SP, and then after that we got my dad got us the Xbox 360, and that was like in 2006. And from that point on, it was like just major diversion for me. It was like, oh yeah, this is what I like. Like I got fully sucked into Xbox at that point. So I don't think we got that until like the Wii generation, I want to say.
So the next
No,
generation.
we got the 360 and then the Wii. So yeah, from basically everything we just talked about, it was only Nintendo growing up. Like
Okay.
through the GameCube, and then yeah, Game Boy Advance SP. So
Now, I want to know what kind of like made you kind of jump ship from Nintendo other than the Xbox. I don't want you to say, oh, it was just the Xbox. Was there like certain games or the style that they were going with that kind of was off-putting to you? Or do you think that the Wii was fantastic, but the Xbox was just better? Like
right.
what was it?
I think a lot of it is attributed to the Xbox, but now that you say that, it's and we're talking about like Super Smash and everything. When we got the Wii, after we got the 360, that was when I fell off of Super Smash. So maybe that's like the through line for me with Nintendo was like I really loved Super Smash, and then Wii, I didn't, it kind of like fell off for me. And that was maybe the game holding me onto it. Like even now I don't own a Switch Super Smash because I don't see a reason to own it. Because anytime I play it with people that already have it. So I'm like, I'll just bring it over. So maybe that's why I also stopped playing most of the Zelda games. I think it is really just mostly attributed to the Xbox and like first person shooters and like games that you can only play on Xbox. Like I don't think there was Guitar Hero for Wii because like when we got the 360 in 2006, the first 3 games we got were Call of Duty 2, Halo 1, and Guitar Hero 2. Right. So and then I immediately just like fell in love with those franchises. I have played every single Call of Duty. And Halo's my favorite franchise of all time. And then Guitar Hero needs to come back. Like, if they ever announce a like classic Guitar Hero or like even just making it backwards compatible, which they won't, but that's when I'll lose my mind. So those sort of games just weren't really on like Nintendo. As far as I knew. I mean, you had the DS like Guitar Hero, but that was bullshit. Like we had 4 buttons. So I think that's kind of why I diverted, maybe.
No, that's fantastic. That makes sense. I mean, I just heard you say Guitar Hero, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, like, we got like Activision and everything like that for Xbox. Like, I want Xbox to dive into the what is it called? The headsets.
Oculus, like
Oculus,
VR.
yeah. I want them to get into like VR, and I want them to make Guitar Hero that's strictly VR, so you feel like you're in front of a crowd and you're just constantly nervous all the time.
Right. That would be awful. If you start to dip into the red and they're just like, oh. Yeah, no, thank you. I would lose my mind.
Throwing your headset.
Break
Fuck
too many
this
TVs.
game, man.
Yeah, back to what you said. It's interesting that the 3 games that we got are now all Xbox first party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because when I had them, they're all multi-platform, but like, well, soon enough, the deal hasn't gone through. But it's interesting that 3 games that kind of like changed my perception and like made me get into the Xbox ecosystem are now going to be Xbox first party games. So yeah,
Yep.
they need to do something with that Guitar Hero IP. VR would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. VR would be super dope, but it has to be like an optional thing on it, not like the whole game, because I don't think everyone's gonna run. I mean, you'd be surprised on how many people would run out and buy it, but I think it'd be a lot better if it was just like a mode in the game instead of like the whole game. Just so you can be able to play with your friends and still, and still be able to get those, drums and all the other kit and stuff like that. But moving on, so the 360 was big for you. I want you to tell me a sleeper in the 360 era that caught you off guard, other than the ones that you ended up absolutely loving. I want to hear like the most just random game that you picked up and was like, man, this is dope.
I don't know if it's necessarily like random because people love this franchise, but it's the only entry of the franchise that I have ever played, and I love it. It's like one of my favorite games of all time. It's Resident Evil 5. And it's like not anything like the rest of the games in the series. Like I know that people have told me a million times, but that's like one of my favorite games of Gen 7 consoles that I played on 360. I even got my mom to play it with me at one point, like co-op. I was trying to teach her how to play. So I don't think that's really, I don't know if that necessarily answers your question, but for me it was a sleeper. It was kind of like, oh yeah, I'll like see what this game's like, and then just ended up being like one of my favorites of all time. And I have the remastered version, so I have 2 versions of Resident Evil 5, and I have not played any of the other Resident Evil games ever.
Really? So. That was going to be my next question. That was going to be my next question, is if you played any other Resident Evil since then.
I've watched, one of my friends I've watched play Resident Evil 4 on GameCube or something. I was like way back when I was a kid, but no, never. I want to. That's the thing too, is like, it seems like a franchise I'd really enjoy, and I love Resident Evil 5, which is divergent according to most people, but still I feel like it's such a big franchise at this point. There's so many entries that it's like, I don't know, it feels a little overwhelming to me to try and get into it when I have so many other things like on my priority list already. And then another one for me, which is like a hugely popular game that isn't really a sleeper, but me as a kid, like just picking it up, like, oh, what the heck's this? Orange Box, Team Fortress 2, and Half-Life 2, and Portal. Portal 2 is my favorite game of all time.
Portal's fantastic.
Playing Portal out of this box that like has no indication of what Portal is on it. It's just Orange Box, and then I'm like, oh, what is this Portal game? And then just like it became my life for a long time. Then they released Portal Still Alive for the 360 arcade, and then Portal 2 for 360. So that was another one that was kind of like very surprising, and then ended up being like, number 1, like in my top 10. So
I don't know. I think Orange Box is actually on sale on Steam or something like that right now. So you guys check that out in the chat if you are interested in those kind of games. It's just those were legendary for its time, for sure. Big time games. But moving a little bit more down the road, so 360 was a big deal. I want to touch on more the Wii again. Okay. So you said you hopped back into the Wii after the 360. What was the entrance few games for you that you really got in on?
Well, I'd also like to clarify that most of this is like my parents getting us what they thought we would like. So like the Wii just felt like a continuation from the GameCube, I think, for them. So it is where I fell off from Nintendo for a while. So I mean, we had like Wii Sports, Wii Fit. I remember starting Skyward Sword at one point and playing it for like a day. I borrowed Twilight Princess from my friend in high school, played that for like a week or two, and then never finished it. So really, it was mostly just Wii Sports is what I remember playing, like the boxing and the bowling and the tennis and God, what else is in that game? I can't even remember. I remember the Wii Fit board. I think we still have that somewhere, like at my mom's house, the Wii Fit board. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't. I think after playing like those first-person shooters and like Portal, which is a first-person puzzle game, like stuff like that, I don't know. Maybe we just felt like And the motion controls I hated. Like Mario Kart, I hate Mario Kart on Wii. I can't stand. Like I can never stay on the track, and then I just wasn't a fan of Super Smash. It felt like it wasn't the one I loved anymore from GameCube. So one great thing I loved about the Wii was that it was a GameCube. You could just
Right.
play your GameCube games on it. So I thought that was really great. But yeah, there wasn't really much that pulled me to it. So I think at that point, like we never got a Wii U. And at that point, we just kind of stuck to Xboxes. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was definitely when I fell off of Nintendo. Was the Wii
Gotcha.
gen.
So from that point, it was like Xbox.
Oh yeah, I mean, my parents got divorced around them too, so we ended up having like two Xbox 360s, like one at each house. And
Okay.
then when my dad moved away, like my younger brother and I both had one at my mom's house, so it just like felt like an Xbox house at that point. So yeah, I think as a family almost we were like, okay, Xbox. My older brother though, I think is the most into Nintendo out of all of us. Like he's probably beaten every single Zelda that there is. I think that's kind of like his mission at this point. So yeah.
So would you consider your family kind of like a gaming family?
Definitely like my brothers and I, yeah, for sure. Halo with my
Not so
younger.
much the generation above you.
Um, no. I remember one time my younger brother and I went to see my dad. He was like staying in a hotel nearby, and I was trying to teach him how to do the bicycle kick on Mortal Kombat 9. And it was just like hilarious because he could not get it. So like
I remember
no.
that was like a legendary move on that game, and it felt so good doing it.
It's really hard to get it to like nail it properly. So I mean they would sometimes, like I said, like I tried to get my mom to play Resident Evil 5 with me, which is like such a weird request. And whenever they come over, like my mom and my stepdad will come over, they'll watch me play a game and they'll let me like explain it to them, and they'll kind of like be interested, but I cannot see them picking up a controller, and playing with me. So they watched me play Crossfire X, and I was like, this game is really bad. And my stepdad was like, yeah, I can kind of tell. And then I like switched over to Halo Infinite. I was like, let me show you how like a proper Series X game looks, like how it's supposed to run, how smooth it is. He's like, oh yeah, I can tell the difference. So,
yeah, that's something else.
I think it really was just my cousins, my dad's side, my cousins. We spent a lot of time with them as kids. They were really into like Nintendo and eventually Xbox. And Halo, like they would make all the Halo 3 like fun maps. They would make them with their friends and then like show us. Like the first time I ever played SWAT was over at my cousin's house for Christmas, and they showed us this map. I think it was Halo 3, and it was like this map with all these corridors, and they were just destroying us. And I was like, what is this? Like, what is this game type? And then they explained it to me, and then it's like my favorite game type now of all time is SWAT on Halo. So it really was our generation. I feel like definitely not the generation above us. We really got into gaming, and then yeah, me and my brother still game. I play with my younger brother all the time with Halo, and yeah.
Fantastic. So y'all some gamers over there. That's cool. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I mean that's also really nice to have something to bond with and be able to chill. And I mean you live more northern than I am. So when it's cold outside, you got something to do inside and chill and relax and whatnot. So that's awesome. So let's move closer towards the current generation that we're in, but not quite there yet. I want to hear your thoughts upon the launch of the Kinect and then the reveal of the Xbox One. Like, how did you feel during this time? Were you really paying that much close attention, or were you just kind of just gaming and not really caring at all?
Right. So the Kinect launched on 360, right?
Right.
That was the initial launch. I remember playing. I never had one for 360. I remember going over to my friend Johnny's house, and they had it, and we were playing the game where you have to like jump over obstacles and shit, and like everything's like coming at you, and there's like a river, and you're like trying to. I don't remember what it was, but it was like was almost like Wii Fit, but it, Connect, and it just felt like for me it was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I'm never buying one. It feels like, 'cause I think that was with they were trying to like get in on the Wii's success, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, motion controls, like, oh, we can do something like that. Let's put a camera on this. And I was like, no, this feels gimmicky. It even felt gimmicky for me on the Wii. I mean, that's kind of why the Wii fell off for me, was like, I don't like steering like this and all that. So Connect really never like appealed to me enough for me to buy it. Then come your next question, like the next part of this question with the Xbox One launch. Like
But you had to get it at that point.
No, I never did get it. I'll explain. So, basically, I didn't get the Xbox One when it came out. I don't even think I watched the reveal of the Xbox One. Like you were kind of suggesting, like I wasn't really paying attention at the time. This was basically like my latter years of high school and then going into college, I think 2014, 2015, right? When they launched the Xbox One. So I was kind of checked out at that point in gaming just in general because I was really focused on school. So, because I remember going to college and I went like a week early, dorm, like early move in, and there was no internet. So I remember I couldn't connect my laptop or my Xbox or anything. I brought my 360 with me. And I remember I just sat down for that week and played Force Unleashed on my 360 like a week straight because I couldn't connect to the internet or anything. And I was waiting for everyone else to move in.
Which that's a fantastic game.
Oh, it was a great time. And I was like sweating my ass off because there was no AC or anything like that. But then after that, I didn't really play my Xbox like almost at all during college. I was a lot more focused on like school and like trying to make friends and stuff like that. And I didn't get an Xbox One until my wife, then girlfriend, got it for me. She was like, I know that, you've been wanting to play Halo 5 and you've been wanting to play all these Xbox One games and all this. So I got you an Xbox One. I was like, oh, that's so nice. And then I ended up giving her my 360 Slim. And she had never had a console. That was her first console, was my Xbox 360 Slim. And she actually like loved it. She just absolutely loved having it. She'd watch Netflix and then she'd play Assassin's Creed and like that was her whole thing.
Fantastic.
And then I got the Xbox One, and then I think I played Halo 5 one time, and I've probably played the Call of Duties when they came out because I played them every year, and that was really all I really invested in it. I mean, the most like tapped in I've been to the gaming like conversation and stuff like that has been with the Series X launch. I think that's when I started my Twitter. That's when I started really following all the news and like the hot takes everyone has all the time. So I kind of like luckily avoided the Xbox One, get like launch and hate and everything. So
so you avoided the frustrations that came with the Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of came to them late. Like, oh, everyone hated it. Okay, I kind of get it. I kind of get why. Weren't very many games. And they focused on cable, being able to plug in, and like Connect was a failure. Like, yeah, I get it. So, yeah, much
You're
kind
like,
of
as
late.
a matter of fact, I did kind of feel that way a little bit. Like, it was more of a reminder than like a jarring thing for years for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. All right. So now we're moving into the current console that is the Series S, X, PlayStation 5, Switch, yada yada yada. I didn't actually get time to pull it up, but I will be working on that while you answer this question. I want you to kind of tell me about your experience and how you ended up getting a Series X, because as of right now, still they're kind of hard to get. They're getting easier as time elapses, but it's still not exactly a cakewalk. And by the time that you had yours, it was during a really hard time to even find one. So kind of share your experience of what it was like trying to get a new console during this time period.
Yeah. Kind of back to, I see Sensei in the chat. First of all, the chat's going crazy and I love it. So thanks everybody for
It's fantastic. The chat
engaging
is
with
dope
each
today,
other.
man.
Like I really love that everyone's like talking to each other in the chat too, because it's hard to keep up live. I see Sensei says, "Smart woman, your wife," and at this that's going to describe this story as well. So Series X is announced. I'm super hyped. Like, I'm going to get this. This is the first time that I've ever pre-ordered, a console. This is the first time I've paid like my own money to make sure I got it. I paid for the One X. I got a One X on Facebook Marketplace, but that's not the same. Like, I'm getting this day one. That's my goal. So they start announcing like the pre-order dates, right? And we're gonna get it through Best Buy because I want to. We have a Best Buy account. We have a Best Buy credit card. So we've just moved into our new house not too long before this, and we have like a little desk set up in the corner over there. I've moved everything around now with my laptop on it. My laptop was like broken, and I had a monitor on top of it. So we have the laptop with the Best Buy page open. I have my phone, and I have my wife's phone, and all three of us, like all three devices, are on the page, and like clicking add to cart, and then it would be like, sorry, there was an error, refresh, add to cart, sorry, there's an error, refresh, sorry, like over and over and over, and to the point where we're like, we're never gonna get this. So we end up going to breakfast. We go to this OG pancake house that my wife loves. While we're there, on my phone, still doing it. I felt kind of bad because I'm out to breakfast with my wife, and basically we get back, and we kept doing the same thing, and she's the one like on her phone. She got it in the cart and like ready to go in the cart, and we checked out, got the pre-order in. It took probably 5 hours like of refreshing, adding to cart, all of that, and she got it in, got it ordered, and then I think an hour later, 2 hours later, they were sold out. So it was very stressful.
I was shaking when I got mine.
Yeah, and like I said, this
stressful.
was my first time. This was my first time too. And of course, it's like during a chip shortage and during a pandemic, and there's scalpers everywhere, and the websites designed to be digital storefronts are all breaking down and not working properly. So it was very stressful, but I was so happy. I mean, I tweeted it out. I can go find that tweet and retweet it later, but my wife is the best wife in the world. I can't believe like she knew how much this meant to me, and she went above and beyond. We had 3 devices trying to get this in. So that's the story behind the Series X, and I'm so happy with mine. I mean, it's sitting right here. I brought it upstairs for this. I love the Series X so much, and before that, I mean, I can just talk about the other consoles that I got if you want while you pull up whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
So before that, we acquired the Nintendo Switch, which I had been interested in getting for a while. I really liked. I thought it was really like innovative because I thought the Wii was gimmicky, and then I knew the Wii U had failed. That was kind of in that same era as like Xbox One. I wasn't really paying attention, but then afterwards, I was like, oh yeah, the Wii U failed. So Switch comes out. It's really cool how they have, it switches. Like that's the whole point, right? I thought it was really awesome. So my wife knew this, and we had the One X. We watch everything on the One X with 4K and everything. So we weren't super, oh, we got to buy one brand new. So her coworker is like, hey, I'm trying to get rid of my Switch. Do you want it? Like, I'll sell it to you. So I was like, yeah, obviously, let's do that. I think he ended up selling it for like 150 or something like that. And it came with like 4 games. It came with a 128 gigabyte SD card. Like it came with all this insane stuff. And this guy is the sort of guy where he buys something brand new and then sells it like 3 weeks later. Like that's just what he does with everything. But we just got lucky enough that he wanted to sell a Switch. So ended up getting the Switch. Then I got original Xbox I got from my cousin who passed away. His mom, my aunt, was like, do you want this? And I was like, yeah, I want an original Xbox. What are you talking about? So I got the Switch, then the original Xbox, then I got the Series X pre-ordered. And then, so what was it? November 2020 is when the new next gen consoles came out.
Mm-hmm.
So my buddy and I, JJ, who I think is maybe still in the chat, I told him I was going to shout him out during this. JJ, he pre-ordered the PS5. He was able to get in, pre-order the PS5.
Let's go.
So we start formulating a plan. It's going to be the best trade deal of all time, where I'm going to give him my base Xbox One, and he's going to give me his PS4 Slim. So I'm like, this is hype. So we both get our consoles in. And then it's the last day of November. I remember that he comes over. He's like, he doesn't live in the same state as me, so we had to figure this all out. So he brings it over. I'm so hyped. This is my first PlayStation I've ever owned. And from then, I mean, that was November 2020. So I've just been rolling through the PlayStation games at this point. All of them. I mean, that's kind of my thing though with PlayStation. It's a PS4, so I'm playing all the older games. I'm not really caught up still to like, the new Horizon game or Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, or Miles Morales or anything like that. So,
all right. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. I have this pulled up now. I'm gonna throw it over on top of my screen so you guys can kind of see. It's gonna kind of hover over me, so you're not gonna really see me. But bro's setup is nice. Check this out. It's real nice. Let's see. We got. I mean, this is nice. Real good looking setup.
There's such a delay on the stream that I can't even see it yet. Oh yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
I mean, he has the 8K TV with the lights in the back, all those consoles up front. The only thing that he's missing that's new is a PS5, but he'll get that eventually at some point. And it's just gonna look pretty. I mean, like look at the desk. It's already white right there. I mean, he's gonna have to move some things for sure because that PS5 ain't no joke.
Honestly, I don't even know if it'll fit if you check the PS4, like where the PS4 is on the left. Like the clearance from the top of the TV stand to the speaker, I don't think there's enough room. So
you're gonna have to lay it sideways, bro.
No.
That's, I mean, you can see mine right back here. It's standing up, but I wish it was laying on its side, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, because I just don't like the way it looks standing. I don't, man. It looks like a binder that I just left standing.
I think it looks pretty cool. I think it looks like an alien artifact. If you lay it on its side, I just think it looks dumb.
Oh,
so that's my thought. That's my thought on it. I want one really
Opinions.
badly. It just doesn't really make sense for me to like get one right now because first of all, I have a 1-year-old daughter, and obviously she comes first. Family comes first. I've got bills. We just got a house. This is like my, I'm a homeowner finally. So that's obviously like priority number one. I got a PS4, so my wife is like, "You don't need a PS5. You have a PS4." I'm like, "I will sell the PS4 in a heartbeat. Like, I want the PS5, and I want to play my games at higher frame rates." But she doesn't,
like, baby, I love you, but you just don't understand.
Hey, she's a smart lady when it comes to Xbox. She knows that's what I love, so it's hard to convince her. Like, she's like, "You already have a Series X," so like, I'll give her that. She's actually 100% right about it. Like, I have a PS4. I have plenty of PS4 games to play. And I'm building my first PC right now.
And most games are third party anyway, so I mean, like,
right.
So you'll be fine for a little while.
Yeah, but then like stuff like Ragnarok comes out, and I'm like, oh, I was gonna wait to get a PS5 to play this, but I need to play it. Like, I need to play Ragnarok, even if I'm playing it on PS4. So we'll see how it goes.
100%. All right. Well, I just wanted to kind of plug that little bit. So that's on his channel. You guys, you can even see a longer video where he closes the curtains and really kind of gives you a detailed look of what his setup looks like. It's beautiful. He has a lot of different stuff, more than what that little video could show you. But moving on to the next topic, because we kind of have a time restraint a little bit. I just wanted to kind of get into why now? Why did you choose to get into content creating? So let them know you got a Twitch, you got a YouTube channel, you got all these other things. What expanded your mind enough to be like, yo, I really need to get into this stuff?
Yeah. So I'd say my, like you said, all the different things I have, but I'd say my Twitter and YouTube are kind of the things I'm focused on, right? So I started my Twitter when I got the Series X, like right away, basically, kind of as like this voice of, I'm sick of console wars. I'm sick of hearing like this one sucks, that one sucks. I'm here to be the neutral voice. That's kind of, and the positive voice. That was kind of my the reason for starting a Twitter, and then that just like snowballed really quickly. I don't know why, or like why people like started following me so much, but it really snowballed. which kind of got me thinking, like, if I can gain a following on this platform, maybe I can do it on YouTube. And I've always, like, as a kid, okay, there is a YouTube channel that exists. I will not tell you all what it is, but it is still on YouTube of me as a child making videos, doing like magic tricks, like recording my screen of, actually, if you go onto my channel now, MrCh1valry, there's a series called MrCh1valry's Archives, where I show these older videos and I talk over them and make fun of myself. So I've wanted to be a YouTube star like since I was a kid, right? And even as like, with me and my cousins I was talking about, we would film all these different things, making stuff was always like kind of embedded in our DNA. So as I got older, like graduated college and all this stuff, I started to like worry that I was only ever going to be a consumer and never like a creator, never a producer of content, just always consume until the day I die, which, people are happy doing that. But I think growing up making stuff and like wanting to make stuff and seeing like my younger brother's an artist and my older brother writes stuff, writes like screenplays and stuff like that and like full on stories. And I'm over here just like watching TV and playing games. It just made me want to express myself in some way and like, become that content creator, like you were saying. So I started my YouTube. I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do with it for a while. I just knew that I wanted to have one and I wanted to start doing something. So I did that video you were talking about, the walkthrough of my 8K setup, because I had spent so much time on it. It was right after my daughter was born. It was like that month. I was like, I got to do this, because if I don't do this, I'm never going to get it done. So I did all that stuff with my setup, and then I made the video. And then I did the MrCh1valry's Archives. But then in January, is when I started like consistently, I created an upload schedule. And since January of this year, I've been consistent with it. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the YouTube shorts, 1 minute max. And then for a while on Twitch, every Wednesday I had a live show called The Weekly Grind. I would just play Master Chief Collection, kill some people in SWAT, because I'm really good at SWAT, and just talk about my week. And then those get uploaded to YouTube. So I think it's something I've always wanted to do. But after seeing how my Twitter kind of snowballed and people seemed to like me, or just like the energy I was putting out, or like thoughts or whatever it was that people latched onto for some reason I don't understand, it kind of gave me the motivation to be like, I've wanted to do this for a long time, but now it feels like I can actually do it properly. I can actually put in the effort necessary. I can actually, edit properly and like create actual content and, create a following. So I think the first mistake I made was thinking like, oh, all my Twitter friends will just follow me over to YouTube. But I think the learning curve was like, that's not true, but it's true that you created a following here, so you could create a following over here. That doesn't mean that they're going to like come over to another platform. So yeah, I'm happy that I've done it. There's definitely like the ups and downs. Some weeks my YouTube shorts will get like 3,000 views, and then the next week they get like 3. So yeah, it's just something I'm committed to though at this point, and I enjoy doing it. So.
Absolutely. And I think one of my favorite things about you, and like seeing the way that you move on Twitter, the way that you kind of like lay out some of your content, when, like when you do your Twitch streams, I really like it when you do your Twitch streams because you're very engaging on there. But the feature about MrCh1valry that I personally like a lot is that he's just unapologetically himself. You don't hold.
Appreciate that.
You don't pull punches. Like when you feel a certain way, you just let it out. Like, bro, like the amount of smile that I had on my face when I seen that Halo little snippet thing that you did just a couple days ago or whatnot, I was just like, you know what? This motherfucker's right. What the fuck is everybody bitching about, man? Why is everybody tripping? I mean, because in the back of my head, and I'm sure in the back of a lot of other people's head, you remember that, you've always been 117.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a few other games that didn't have Chief in them, like you were saying. Like,
even those, I just played ODST with Mark last night, one of my friends I met on Twitter, and even in ODST, if you're not on the streets playing as rookie, you're playing as one of the main characters. everyone is a clone of that character. Everyone is Dutch or everyone is Buck. So it literally like it makes no sense to me where like the hatred's coming from. So that's just my little piece.
You know, it's just something to talk about, you know, and
Yeah,
and
it's just the
if
next
you're
thing to
on
be
Twitter,
outraged about.
yeah, if you're on Twitter, they gotta have something to talk about. But anyways, oh Lord. All right, so yeah, so I'm gonna move on to. Oh, actually, I have another question within that content creation part. Um, so you said YouTube and Twitter were your main things. What made you branch out to the other things as well and start to build on there? Because, I mean, I feel it as a content creator. I'm sure you feel it as well. The more you kind of like spread yourself out, the harder it is to update every single thing at the same time. And some things end up taking a back seat. So like, so what made you choose specifically like YouTube and Twitter? Because, you know, I mean, I've seen you all the time. Like, I'm blocking this dude, blocking this dude, blocking this dude. Like, but what makes you like so happy to stay on Twitter? I guess, or
I think
YouTube.
Twitter. Yeah, so Twitter is just inherently a filter bubble. I think people approach that differently. I think some people say, "Oh, well, you can't like take something that you don't like and like have it in your timeline or whatever. Like, what's wrong with you?" It's like, well, that's actually the point of Twitter, in my opinion. Like, I pivoted hard from Facebook because Facebook was like my main thing for a while, and I pivoted hard to Twitter because I felt Twitter could be a space that I could create what I wanted to see, and I could cultivate my own little my own little community. And I did it on my personal account first, and then I created my gaming account, which has now become my personal account. But with Twitter, I mean, you don't owe anyone anything on the internet is my main thing. If you're not enhancing my experience on Twitter, if you're making it a bad time, I will just block you. Like, I do not care at this point because like it doesn't have anything. Like, I don't owe you anything. This is my Twitter. Like, it is a filter bubble, and like you should accept that. Everyone should accept that. I'm not saying like, oh no, I'm not living in a filter bubble. I see everyone's opinions. Like, no, I'm seeing the ones that I want to see. That's why I'm on Twitter. Otherwise I would just like go somewhere else. So I think that's why I enjoy Twitter so much, is because oh, bye Andrew, I see that he's leaving now. That's why I like Twitter so much, is that it is what you make it. I see people all the time saying like, I think I'm going to get off Twitter. And even I have these thoughts too. So I'm not saying I'm special, but I'm going to get off Twitter. Like, it's just so depressing. And, you know, I feel like there's no fun on here. I feel like that's sort of on you. Like, you can cultivate your own timeline. Like, that's why I like it so much. So YouTube, on the other hand, like I said, it's just something I've been trying to do since I was a kid. So like, it just felt like now's the opportunity. Let's get in and, you know, use Twitter as sort of this is like me, you can come see me, and then here's my content on YouTube. All the other platforms, so there's the GG app. I'm on the GG app. That's where I do my written game reviews and my lists and my ratings and all this stuff. You can like keep up to date. Oh, he just finished that game. Like, just the second he finished that game, I saw him change it to like completed or beaten or whatever. So the GG app, I really enjoy being on there because it just helps me keep track of my backlog, especially with my different platforms. And I just started doing the game reviews on there. So, and then Twitch kind of, I saw it as just a way to reach a broader audience while creating content for my YouTube. Like, taking my streams and putting them on YouTube, or editing them down like I'm going to do for the God of War, and then putting that on YouTube. So it felt like just a way to reach a broader audience while also you know, creating more content for my main platform, which was YouTube. And then I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, but that kind of was a last second thing I did because I started making these YouTube shorts, which are like the vertical 1 minute videos. And I was like, I might as well put these on like the other platforms that have vertical 1 minute videos, TikTok and Instagram. So all of those kind of just serve to point back YouTube and Twitter.
So I'm very similar to you in how I use Twitter. I don't like, I shouldn't say that exactly. I use it for what it is, more or less, to like specifically brighten my experience. Cause like, cause you said a lot of like how it's something like, if it's, ruining my day or yada yada this or that, you just, get it out of there. You wipe it away. For me personally, I do the opposite, right? Because I make a show like this. I need to see what people are like consistently. Right.
Yep. And
So
I
like,
appreciate that about you and this show is that you have everyone like you've probably had on like 50% of the people I blocked. And like that's totally valid. It's totally valid. And like I appreciate that because someone's got to do that and like talk to these people. You have the hard conversations like Sensei said on Tuesday. So that's totally
Mhm.
valid. And I appreciate that.
Yep. So yeah. So exactly. So I view Twitter in a different light to where it's like, all right, well, these people are, going to be, loud or quiet, and I want to, be able to do my best to give them some sort of light, whether it's deserved or not is, subjective. But I want to do my best to be, someone or, a place where people can go and be like, you know what? This person's always giving me the same energy, whether their guests are giving that same energy or not. Like, I'm always going to be here to hook people up with, something to watch, whether it's their favorite person, whether it's somebody that you despise or whatnot. Like, I do this for my own kind of, book of history, I guess. I
Yep.
want to be able to look back and say, yeah, I've talked to this person. I see their point. I don't really see their point, or, don't fuck with this person. like, there's all different ways to kind of look at it, and I want to give people the opportunity to kind of see it for themselves and enjoy it for themselves. Because, I can't say down the road that like, or even in the past, like I had Crap Gamer on here. There's a ton of people that don't like Crap Gamer. Ton of people that don't like him. But I keep the same energy with him that I'm gonna keep with you, and that I'm gonna keep with the next person. It's just I'm just trying to figure out why you are the way that you are and how you even got here in the first place. That's all I'm here for, and then I'm out.
Oh, I respect that like 100%. And I think that's the thing. Like I said, Twitter is what you make it. So if that's your idea and like that's what you want to do moving forward, like I'm not going to say you're wrong. Like that's your Twitter experience. So it influences the show. It influences the content you create, the interviews you have with these people. So, and you've had some insane people on. Like it's pretty cool the people that you've had on. So, yeah, I think props to you honestly because for me I can't do that. I would just have a horrible time on Twitter. I just would not enjoy myself, and I think that's valid too. But I'm biased, so
Yeah, I feel that. Oh, Too Big, Miss Crazy Louie. Good to see you guys in the chat. Too Big, I gotta hit the button for you.
Mahalo!
Gotta hit the button for you. I love hitting them with that corny ass mahalo.
Mahalo! Love it.
Every single time. All right, so we tackled that subject, I felt like, fairly well. Now, I want to know throughout all the consoles that you played, or maybe not have played, which time of history would you like to go back and relive? Just name it by the console. You don't have to say like this generation, like 9th or something like that. Like, just give me a console that you would like to go back and really just go back through that catalog of games.
PS2.
The PS2?
That's like I said, PS4 is my first PlayStation. And one of the most disappointing things about starting that journey is that there was no backwards compatibility. Like, unless I wanted to get PS Now and stream it. And that was like so disappointing, especially being an Xbox guy. And like Xbox One had the huge backlash. I remember the backlash. I do remember that you can't play your 360 games on it. And everyone was pissed. And rightfully so. And then they created the backwards compatibility program, and that's actually why Series X is like one of my favorite consoles, is because I can play my whole catalog almost. So PS2, I want a PS2 still. At this point, it doesn't make sense. Like my wife would kill me. So PS2 to go back in time, that would be really epic. I think to kind of see it at a friend's house and I need to get that, because I feel like that is a lot of people's story, is that they're like, I was at a friend's house and they had a PlayStation 2, and then I played it and I fell in love. And it's like I never had that experience. It wasn't my truth. I did not live that. I was a Nintendo kid, then I was an Xbox guy. So I think, yeah, if I'm gonna go back and play a whole catalog, and yeah, PS2.
That's a fantastic choice, because I mean, there's a ton of games on that console that, you know, are pretty hard to get or hard to like re-experience anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Right,
Kind of like you
right.
said with I mean, there's streaming that's now available, but I mean, come on, I want to play that stuff native.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. And it's atrocious. It's honestly atrocious that it's not been fixed by now. Xbox One, they were like, we're pissed. And they're like, okay, we're working on it. We're working on it. And like, it's been 2 generations now. Even PS3, right? They originally had PS2 backwards compatibility, and then every iteration of PS3 after that, they got rid of it. It's like, what the hell's going on? Like, this is insane. Because me as a new PlayStation fan, I love PlayStation. I've only been playing it for 2 years, not even 2 years. But for me as a new fan, you really are gonna like not give me an option to like experience your legacy games. So yeah, that's PS2. That's my answer.
Matt Likes Games in the chat says, "Get yourself a fat PS3."
I tried.
Even the newer PS3 is back compat with
PS1.
yeah. So like the Slim is back compat with PS1, but that's
what I was
big
saying.
Catalog of things missing though.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Because ultimately, like if I had the ideal setup, it would be a PS5 and then a backwards compatible PS3. I could play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Absolutely.
That's never going to happen because those are really hard to come by. I mean, I spent months looking them up and trying to see. And if you do find one, it's like $600, and my wife will kill me. Like I've said multiple times, I don't need a console that old. I'd be less mad if I got a PS5, but if I got a PS3 or a PS2 for that much money, no, it's just not going to happen. So,
and the chance of it, like, you know, breaking is high. You have no warranty on it. So I mean, it's just all signs are kind of rough. You can find one if you want to shop hard for around like $300 or $400, but that doesn't make it easy to buy, you know?
No. I'd rather get a PS5 at that point. No.
Absolutely.
I'm much more a modern gamer. Like I consider myself very much a modern gamer. That's mostly because of my age. You know, I'm 26, so I much prefer at that point. It's like, I'm not spending that much money on a retro console. It'd be cool to have. It'd always be cool to have. I want it. Like in my head, I want it. But being realistic, I'd rather get a PS5.
Got you. So going down to the next question, I'm kind of curious, like, of all your times in gaming, what would you call the most memorable moment for you personally? Whether it being going to like an event, playing games with the family, playing games with the wife, whatever. Like, you tell me what your most like dope experience is that you can think of.
Well, if we're talking like dope experiences, I would just have to say like Halo 3 online would probably be like my peak. Just like playing games and like having the most fun of all time, like doing the Vidmaster achievements on that and playing like, you know, legendary all iron and trying to get, you know, what was it called? Vidmaster annual, trying to get off of the Halo with the ghosts and just playing like every day with my friends online. That would probably be like, you know, most epic and memorable thing. But in terms of just like memories that stick with me, definitely playing with my cousins, Super Smash, trying to get all the characters. But specifically, like when we first got the 360, my younger brother and I would play Halo 1 together, co-op campaign. And we had no idea what was happening, like the lore. We could not pick up on the lore because we were just kids. And the second mission, Halo, you're on the Halo ring. You enter that cave, you go down the hill, enter the cave, and then you have to like jump across the chasm. And they warthog. Mm-hmm. And I remember my younger brother and I would go into that little area. We didn't know how to get out because we were dumb, and we would just like kill each other over and over. Like we basically play 1v1, Master Chief versus Master Chief in Halo CE. I don't know why, but that has stuck with me for so long as just like fun. It was just a fun thing to do. We were not even playing the game like properly. It was just like, oh yeah, let's fight each other in this little area because we can't figure out how to jump at this chasm. So that's just a memory that's always stuck with me.
Yeah, hey, that's your experience, and that's a wild one for sure. So that's pretty interesting. Now moving towards like, ooh, so we've talked about a lot of things that you like within gaming, right? I want to know a genre of or type of game that you don't really mess around with. Like you'll see it and you'll just be like, nope, nope, not playing it.
Okay. There's a couple, so I'll give some like caveated answers. Racing games, I don't really play. First one I ever really, I mean, I play Mario Kart. That's it. And then Forza Horizon 5. That's like the first racing game. I know it's more arcadey. Real-time strategy.
Like
well, yeah, it was cool. I really like the open world nature of it. I would not play the racetrack. I would not play that. That's not.
So the new Forza Motorsports has
No.
you just don't care about it at all.
Not gonna play that. No, I'm not gonna play that. I like the open world nature, which is interesting because my next answer is, and I'm gonna make a lot of my friends that I asked to be here mad, but open world RPGs, not my cup of tea. So,
Oh snap! Oh snap!
I know. I don't. Oh, don't do that. I don't hate them. I don't hate them, and I don't refuse to play them. In fact, I've started a lot of them. But I can't think of. Okay, Outer Worlds is the only one that I've finished. Everything else I stopped. Like Skyrim, I bought Skyrim for Xbox 360, and I played it for 2 weeks. I got stuck in a dwarven mine, and I never played the game again. I gave it to my younger brother, and he beat it like 7 times with 7 different characters. And I said, "Great, I'm glad you had fun." Fallout, I had like played for maybe 3 or 4 days, stopped. It's just not. I get analysis paralysis where there's too many options, there's too many choices, and I feel like I make one wrong move and I fuck everything up. So it's just not. I don't like that, and that's honestly like with Detroit that I'm playing now. That's the aspect of the Detroit that I don't like, and it's interesting because that's like, that's something that video games provide that no other medium really provides, is like choice and autonomy and like being able to affect the world. And I'm like, no, give me a linear shooter like Call of Duty or like the old Halos. But that's the thing too, is like the new Halo I really love. I think it's because it's just small enough and there's like so little to do in terms of like compared to like an Elder Scrolls or Elden Ring or something.
Oh yeah.
Like Assassin's Creed, the old Assassin's Creed games. I love those because I feel like I can get to at least 90% done without having to like look up a guide or anything. It's just collectibles and explore this and do that. Borderlands is the same way. So like I like having a little bit of freedom, but the like complete open world freedom is stressful to me. I cannot handle it, and I usually just drop the game. Like even Elden Ring. I played Elden Ring this year. I beat Godric. Like this game is epic. Like this is probably game of the year because it's a great game. I haven't played it since. Like I beat Godric and I stopped playing it. So I want to go back to it, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't really feel any motivation to at this point. So that's my answer. Everyone can hate me as much as they want.
Oh man.
Yeah, Mikey's mad at me. Mikey, I'm sorry.
Killjoy.
I wasn't expecting that.
Oh man. Well, there it is.
Look, Colts, Mikey. I know I'm making all of you guys mad.
Man, they are salty.
We all have different opinions. That's fine. And here's the thing. Here's also the thing. I figured this out in high school. If no other games existed, no other genre existed, nothing else, I had no responsibilities, I would play Skyrim all day, every day. I think it is something I would enjoy. But the fact that I'm so interested in other games, like playing these other games, the indies and Call of Duty and Halo, and I have a list of games that I'm working on, right? Mm-hmm. I cannot dedicate like months of my life to one game. I can't do it. And that's what it feels like if I'm going to get into Skyrim, because I'm an achievement hunter. I'm a completionist. If I'm going to play Skyrim, I'm playing Skyrim. That's it. And I don't think I'm going to have time for anything else. I'm not going to have energy for anything else. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, where I think I would actually like them if nothing else existed. Like if no other games my eye or anything. But I like so many different types of games that it just doesn't feel like I even have like the time or the energy to invest.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. You can't play every single game
right.
in a generation. I mean, you can damn sure try, but you're not going to do it.
Right.
You're just not going to do it. It's impossible, especially with how long some of these games are. Mm-hmm. Like you were just talking about, like Skyrim, like this new Starfield game that comes out. It's going to be incredibly massive.
And I like want to try it, but I think I'm gonna stop for like a week or two.
you might get through like the main story of it, but to get like that like completion amount that you were feeling about like the old Assassin's Creed games, because the new ones are totally different. It's not happening. You're gonna have to put a lot of freaking time into that, and you're gonna have to put other games down for quite some time. More time than you'd probably really want to. So I mean, I feel what you're saying. Because I come from, you know, and I'm sure Matt's tired of me talking about this. I come from playing Ark Survival Evolved. I played that game for. I love talking about that. I love that game. It was so good to me.
You put like 100 and something days in it or something.
Mm-hmm. So like to put that much amount of time in, I can only be playing that game. You know what I mean? You just don't have any time for anything else unless it's like a pickup game on like basketball or you know, something nice, short and sweet like a Shredder's Revenge or something like that. Those are the only real things you got time for other than that game, because it takes that much amount of your time away. And if you don't come back to it, then for that specific game at least, if you don't come back to it within a week, you lose all your stuff.
Yep.
Which is insane. The one thing I hated about that game. I went on a vacation. I went on a vacation for 7 days, came back within minutes of me about to lose everything, and I didn't make it. And my base got raided. I lost a year and a half of work.
I think that's when you
in 7 days.
Killjoy.
Oh, big time.
Killjoy.
It was foul. I was dead. But,
okay, I love that. You gotta show me this effects board. I love this.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. It's called Voice Mod. If you guys are creators out there and you're looking for something fun to use, I highly recommend Voice Mod. Sometimes they have their deals where you can get it for like $35 for like the license and everything, and you can do really weird things.
Just like this right here. This is super duper weird.
So yeah, exactly. I can do all kinds of weird stuff with this thing. It's wild. But moving on, I want you to list now the best 3 games of this generation that we're currently in that you've played so far, because obviously we're still very early in it.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of options. And like I said, with PlayStation, I'm still in last gen. So, you know, I'm going to be biased with these picks. But definitely my number 1 would be It Takes Two. Played that this year with my wife, and it's just like,
that's the way
it's in my top 10. It's in my top 10. It made me cry at the end because I'm a child of divorce. We're both children of divorce. So the story really hits home.
Yeah, me three. It does hit. It hits.
Yeah, It Takes Two is just it's in my top 10. Like it just deserves that spot. It made me feel things, and that's all I want from a video game. Halo Infinite gonna have to be my number 2. I know it has its issues, but the campaign is absolutely goated in my opinion, and the gameplay is amazing, and it also made me feel things. I beat it 3 times. So Halo Infinite is up there. And then my last pick, I don't know if we're going to qualify this because it launched at different times on different platforms, but Hades is going to be my number 3.
You do talk about that game a lot.
Yeah, so was my first exposure to roguelike. Like yeah, I guess they're called roguelikes, right? Where you die and you have to start over. But oh my gosh, I got obsessed with that game. Like I min-maxed everything in that game. Like because I was achievement hunting too, so I was like, okay, I gotta give this guy the nectar and give that guy the nectar. Like, and the story is so good, the voiceover is so good, the art style is so good. It's like it won what 50 plus Game of the Year awards in 2021 or 2020, and it deserves more. Like they should allow it to back in the running for another round of Game of the Year awards because it's just absolutely fantastic. But I don't know if that does qualify because I mean for Xbox and PlayStation it was 2021, and then
what would you exchange it with?
I can't think of anything.
Well, then
I mean,
then that is what it is.
Okay. But I mean, there's plenty of games that got like optimized for Series X day one, or like PS5 versions that I could include, but I don't think those count. So, Master Chief Collection would be up there for me.
Sensei 808's here. We gotta throw out another
mahalo
to him because he is another Hawaiian guy. Good to see you, brother. Happy you're here. He's another usual that happens to always be here. Shout out to Sensei. Shout out to Sensei. But
shout out to both senseis.
Oh yeah, Sensei on Sensei. 808 versus Kills. So what would you say right now, where we stand, is is like your favorite studio of, or actually not right here where we stand, of all time? Let's just say of all time, flat out. Favorite studio and the best game that represents it.
So I don't really follow studios as much as most people on Twitter do. From what I can tell, everyone seems to be like obsessed with particular studios like FromSoft, Naughty Dog. But I guess if you like, just based on recent games I've played, I think Insomniac is just absolutely killing it. The first Ratchet and Clank, the first PlayStation game I platinumed was Ratchet and Clank 2016.
Oh wow.
I had a great time playing that game. The reason I wanted a PlayStation like I could have played no other games and just played Spider-Man 2018. I would have been happy because I waited 2.5 years to play this game. I avoided all spoilers and it was worth it. Every minute of it was worth it. And I platinumed that game and 100% the DLCs. So, and I'm itching to play Miles Morales, but I was going to wait for PS5, but now Ragnarok's like changing my mind on all these cross-gen games. So, if you put me to it, I'd say Insomniac. If you asked me like 360 era, like back then, I might have said like Activision. It's like Guitar Hero. I loved all the Call of Duties, like the golden era of Call of Duty, like COD 4 to Black Ops 2. Those campaigns are just like next level in my opinion. So yeah, I know other people would say like Bethesda or Naughty Dog. I've only played Uncharted 1, so maybe I need to play more of those for Naughty Dog.
Uncharted's fantastic. I still need to finish the last one.
That's next up for me is Uncharted 2 once I platinum Detroit. Jumping into Uncharted 2. So
okay. A quick side question that I don't have on the list. What drives you to platinum games and 100% games? Because I am not that guy. I play the game for the story. I'll get maybe the go through the story again and like co-op or something, or if the story is fantastic like Miles Morales was. Like I beat Miles Morales almost 3 times now.
Oh gosh.
But during none of that part was I like I need to 100% the trophies. I wanted to 100% the game, not the trophies, and people get that mixed up. You can 100% a game, but not 100% like trophy wise and whatnot.
And vice versa. You can 100% the trophies and not 100% the game. Like Hades is a game that I'm considering going back and playing after I get all the achievements. But because I love it that much. But I just looked it up. I have 77 completed Xbox games and 4 platinum trophies on PlayStation. So I've always been an achievement hunter ever since 360 era. Back then I kind of saw it as like, because people would be on Call of Duty and they're like, oh, I'm 8th prestige, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, you're telling me like that just shows like that one game. As like an overall gamer, I really love the trophy and achievement system because, you know, you're reflecting all the games you play, not just, oh, I'm really good at this one Call of Duty game. So I think that's why I liked it initially, where I was like, oh, I can like track my progress and all that. But now I have like some more perspective on it. I think, first of all, I always need to be doing something in life. That's why I like video games in general, is because not you get so immersed in them and, you know, you can lose yourself in them, but also it feels like I'm doing something. Like I'm watching TV, I'm not like doing anything. It's like watching TV. I'm just like absorbing content. But when you're playing a game, you're interacting with the game and you're accomplishing tasks. They're all fake. They mean nothing except to you. But that's why I think achievements resonate so much with me, because it gives me something to do. It gives me something to look forward to, like check off my list. And just, you know, completing a game just gives me that feeling inside of like, you know, it hits all the pleasure centers of my brain of like, I've completed my tasks. Like I've done all the things I was going to do. It's like I have checklists in real life too for like things I need to do around the house and stuff like that. So that's a big reason why. It just feels like I got to keep doing something all the time and not waste my time or whatever. Because in like high school, I always felt like playing video games I felt like guilty about, because like, oh, I have homework to do and, you know, practice this part of the music and blah blah blah. But another big reason is I feel like you see parts of the game that otherwise you would never see, like the Easter egg achievements and the achievements that have you to this specific thing, even though it has nothing to do with the main story. And I really appreciate that. I want to see every aspect of the game. If the developer says this is an achievement, and they're saying this is something I want you to see, I worked on this and this is part of the game, in our opinion. You don't have to do it, but it's part of the game. So that's kind of how it is for me, where I want to see everything the game has to offer, and I want to feel like I'm accomplishing something while I do it. Even my younger brother was saying to me a couple months ago, like, you know more about like just games in general than like most people I know. Like, yeah, because I'm constantly looking up guides on how to do this stupid achievement that has nothing to do with the rest of the game, or like, you know, how do I speed run this Halo level to get through the legendary run because I don't want to play it on legendary. So, you know, all these little tidbits and stuff about games just because of that, because of achievement hunting. And then I got my PlayStation, and it felt like I'm going to focus on these trophies, because honestly, the trophy system is way better than the achievement system. And it's frustrating because I've said 77 games completed, including DLCs on Xbox, and I've been doing this for 3 generations of Xbox now. And they need a revamp. Like, they just do. Because trophies came out, they copied achievements, and they're already better. They've got tiers, they've got silver, gold, bronze, platinum. Like, it's so much more satisfying. Because the first time I got a gold trophy, I was like, this was so hard to get. Like, why did this take me so long of playing this game to get a gold trophy? There's only like 3 or 4 in this game. So, but it was much more satisfying because it's like, wow, I got a gold trophy and I got more XP for it, and my PlayStation level went up. So, I definitely put a lot of weight into that. But more recently, I've pulled away from it to the point where, like, back in the day, I'd be like, oh, I can't 100% that game, I'm not even going to start it. Now it's like, I'm going to play the game. If the game is interesting to me, I'll play it. And if I don't get all the achievements, that's fine. But I start every game hoping that I will 100% the game. But I don't get mad at myself anymore like I used to, that I don't.
So does this sound make you really excited?
Oh,
every single time?
Yes, that's good.
It's fantastic.
It's actually really funny that you say that, because back in 360 era, I would like hear that sound in my dreams and stuff, because I was so addicted to it. Like, I legitimately was so addicted to it, and I would hear that sound like not playing games. So, yep, got it. It's echoic sound for me.
Oh man, that's fantastic. You said I heard it in my dreams.
I woke up, I thought I'd 100% this game, and I didn't. What?
Oh man, that's fantastic. All right, so what would you say upcoming? And I'm actually gonna do this because I don't want no easy peasy answer. I'm gonna take God of War out of this answer.
I wrote that down.
I knew it. What would be the most exciting game for you, like, for like within the next year, so from now to next year and now.
Okay. Redfall. Easily.
Redfall, okay.
Really excited for Redfall. Even when they first announced it, I think they announced it at like 3 or something last year with that crazy CGI Xbox Bethesda showcase. And then this year we got the gameplay for it. And I'm super excited. I've not actually played any Arcane titles. And people love them. Like, don't they make Prey and Dishonored or something? So
Prey, Dishonored, Deathloop. I mean,
JJ's been telling me
the
to
only
play
reason
this
I
game.
know all this stuff is because Matt likes games. That's his favorite freaking dev, and he just doesn't shut up about it.
Yeah, I don't think Matt does like games. I think he's obsessed with games.
Matt likes capping.
Matt likes Arcane. That's about it. Redfall, I am so excited for. It just looks really fantastic, and I just love that it's like the vampire setting and everything we saw in the gameplay showcase this year for the Xbox Bethesda showcase just like got me so hyped. So even though it got delayed, it was in my I'm in a fantasy like critic league, so it's like a fantasy sports league, but it's for games and stuff like that. I had Redfall and I had Starfield in my team, and I had to drop both of them because they got delayed. So I was sad, but still excited for the game. It's going to be really fantastic, I think. And yes, also Ragnarok.
So what you had to slip that in. You just had to slip it. But is there a specific aspect within this Redfall game that has you hyped about it? Is it like the story that's cool? Is it the artwork? Is it the co-op?
Gameplay, for sure.
Okay.
The powers and like the way they interact with each character has the different powers, and then if you play co-op, then everyone's mixing those together, and if you don't, then it's solo, which I thought was really cool. I didn't even think they were going to do that. I thought they were going to be like Left 4 Dead co-op NPCs, but no, it's just solo and you're figuring out yourself. So I think the gameplay just looks really, really cool. The setting is cool too and the art style, but I just thought the gameplay looked dope. So
well, I definitely want to run some of that game with you for sure, especially since you're Mr. Achievement Hunter. I mean, I want to get some collectibles with you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'll run those with you. But now let's go back into time again. One more time. Let's go back, and I want you to tell me what 2 games you would like to bring back that have been dormant for quite some time.
I already mentioned one. Guitar Hero. Get back right now. Guitar Hero. Get backwards compatible and give me a new one. I still have my guitars. Plug them in. They're USB-A. They'll fit right there. Guitar Hero is my number one. And then another one I thought of. This was actually the hardest question, but 1 versus 100 needs to make a comeback. That game was amazing. I don't know what
that is.
What? Oh my gosh. Okay. It was like a live. Okay. Do you know like Trivia Crack these days? Or what was that? It wasn't Trivia Crack. It's like a live. No. No. Anyways, it was a live game, and it's like a game show sort of, but everyone's on their Xbox 360, and you like submit the answers and everything, and it was like this live thing that you would like go to play at the specific time, and it just went away. And it was just like this fun communal thing on the 360 of like, hey, we're playing 1 versus 100 today, and like it just was a thing to go do. And then you go play Halo. Like it was just like part of the console, and they got rid of it. So I mean, I want to see a comeback. I think it would bring a lot of the community together, just playing this game together. So
I like what Shinrock says. He's like, DJ Hero. Let's go.
Oh God. No thanks. I think Sensei's Thoughts, he played that, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I'm dead serious. Oh, Sensei, I don't want to hear you talk about, you don't know. 64. That's all I got to say is N64.
Yeah, I'm watching your episode from Tuesday and you go, what's N64? Oh, wait, I had the Nintendo. Is that the same as N64? I'm like, dude, that's my first console. I do not know this, Sensei. I don't
Had
want to
to
hear
throw
it.
some shade right there. Just had to throw a little bit, just air him out just a little bit.
I love Sensei. I love
No,
Sensei.
no, Sensei's the man. Sensei's the man. He's really cool, dude. Fantastic episode I had with him this last Tuesday. He has his own shows that he does every Sunday midday, so definitely check him out as well. Really
Oh, yeah.
good dude. Him and his boy Logic put on a fantastic show. And
Love
they
their
are
show.
very, and they have their, they have their opinions, and sometimes it gets hot. Sometimes it gets a little hot in there. So yeah, y'all check that out. But moving forward for this show today, what would you say, and this is kind of a tough question, answer it however you wish, but what would you say would be something that really frustrates you about gaming as a whole? So it can be anything.
I think toxic fan base. is
That's
my
like the most, I swear I get that answer like 90% of the time.
It
But
feels like
continue.
I'm always on. I'm not specifically toxic fans and fanboys harassing developers is very frustrating to watch as a third party. But toxic fan base in general, I've had to deal with now for Borderlands 3, now Halo Infinite, two of my favorite franchises, games that I personally love. I really love these games, and the fan base is unrelenting the way that they treat like the developers and the people on the dev team. Like Borderlands 3, people got so angry all the time. Anytime anything would happen, to the point where they would tweet something out unrelated, people would flood in to the replies to like complain about the other thing from like a week ago. It's like, you just stop. Like, if you don't like the game, go play something else. Because some of us are just trying to simply enjoy a game, and your negativity and like hatred towards the people that created this game that you supposedly love, like the franchise, but you're shitting all over this game. You're just treating them like crap, and it's just hard to even enjoy a game. So Halo Infinite's had the same thing. Halo Infinite has its issues, but like, what do you think is going to be accomplished by like treating the people who make the game like absolute shit? I don't understand it, and I don't like condone it. I don't abide by it, and it's my most. I mean, that's when I bring out the block button. Like, I've already talked about this. You're making my experience on Twitter not fun, so I'm gonna block you. I probably blocked like 25% of the Halo community at this point. Because look, you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm entitled to not have to see it every fucking time that I go to a Halo tweet. You're in the comments saying something unrelated to what's even in the tweet. So that's my biggest frustration about gaming in general, is just Twitter and other social media has given people a voice, and the people that feel negatively about something are much more vocal than the people that are positive about it. And then anyone who is positive is like, oh, you're getting paid by Halo to say that it's good. Or like, no, I'm just simply saying I enjoy a game, and you guys are being dicks. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Gaming.
That was fantastically put. I like it. You guys are just being dicks.
They are, for no reason. Like, go touch grass, go play a different game. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to keep playing a game that
that
you
right
don't
there.
like.
I love that answer. Go play another game.
Even the 343 devs said that. Like, look, we know the game's not in the space it should be. You don't have to keep telling us it. Like, we know we're working really hard right now, but if you're just gonna keep saying it over and over, like, you can just go take a break. They even said that, like, just take a break, go play something else, and come back when you're like ready to play the game and not bitch endlessly.
Hey, Corey Barlog had to say the same thing to God of War
Yeah.
fans just last week.
Yep.
There's like one person said, yo, if you don't come, if you don't give us the release date by tomorrow, then I'm gonna go buy an Xbox or something like along that line. And Corey's like, you know what? That's a fantastic idea. You shouldn't limit your experiences. And I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, you're a goat.
Man,
Genius.
I love that. Like, I love that the devs and the people at the top of this ecosystem, like Phil Spencer and everyone like that, don't give a shit about console wars. I love that. Like, Corey Barlog's like, I can't wait to play Starfield. Like, he literally said, like, I'm so excited to play Starfield. Anytime a major game releases, Yeah, anytime a major game releases on PlayStation, Phil Spencer's like, "Congratulations! Like, I'm so happy you guys had your game released, and it looks like it's getting great reviews. Great." Because honestly, like they are competitors, but like a rising tide floats all ships or all boats or whatever. Like you can't wish harm on your competitor because then your industry as a whole tanks.
Yeah.
So, and then there's the people down here, like the plebes, who fight each other over it. And like, it only helps them, but they don't care. They just like games. They like making games and they like delivering games to people. And then people treat them like shit and send them dick pics and, death threats over a release date. It's just insane to me. So it just drives me
Absolutely.
crazy.
All right. Well, on the opposite side of this question, I always ask, because I like to push it back into positivity before I go to the end of the show. I want to know what would be like your dream come true within gaming.
It does kind of go hand in hand with that. If people would just come together and understand the minutia of game development and stuff like that better, instead of just assuming that they can. I just want peace, basically. That's my dream come true. If we're talking games, I'd like Halo 3 remastered and a Halo 3 anniversary.
Okay, sweetie, I see you. Yeah, you're fine. You can come here.
All right.
But anyways, yeah, we're getting down to the last couple of questions.
Sure.
Um,
I'm here as
what?
long as you can have me.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. She wants some popcorn.
Oh yeah.
But what specifically would you like if you have any questions for me, what would you like to ask?
I have two. So,
Okay, go ahead.
someone was to say like, "Hey, I want to get into gaming today. I've never played a game before in my life. What would you like personally suggest? What would be your recommendation? Would you say PS4 digital with PS Plus or Series S, Series X? Just get a Switch."
That's really pretty. Like if I were to suggest what console to buy right now is the
Anything.
question.
They said, "Hey, I really want to get into gaming. I've never gamed in my life. Right now, 2022, like today."
Oh, that's
What would
easy.
you?
Xbox Series X, or actually, I'd say Series S. If well, depending on like how technical they are. So if they're like really like tech savvy, they got the
But they've
new
never played a
TV.
game, or no, they don't. Yeah,
They
they've
don't
never
care
played a
about
game.
none of that stuff. I'd say the Series S easily. Why? And this is no shade to PlayStation or whatnot, but the library is limited. It's very limited on there. Yeah, they have the service now, but like a massive chunk of it is streaming, and I wouldn't want somebody to have their first experience be
Right.
on streaming. Like it just doesn't seem right to me. I
You
would
wouldn't say
want
like Stadia or Luna.
no. Well, like streaming is cool,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
to me, streaming is more for a person that knows exactly what they're getting. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, sure.
If for the type of person that you're talking about, they don't really know exactly what they're getting. So to give them, top-notch quality from the jump, um, you have something like Game Pass that you give them $1, $15 a month or whatnot. And like I said, this has nothing to do with like a console war argument for any reason. This is specifically for somebody that's never played really any games. They're trying to get into games, and I want to give them the most quality experience possible. It would suck to me to tell somebody, "Oh, go out and get a go out and get a PS4 or PS5 and then get the service," and then they go to log into a game and figure out that they're having some disconnecting issues, or it doesn't look
Right.
exactly how I remember it looking or something like that. So I just say honestly, Series S for the win in that area. Now, if they
I
were
see that.
big on first party exclusives, which no gamer is when they first hop into gaming, they just want to
Right.
try out stuff. Then I'd maybe say PS5 would be really good if
Yeah.
you want first party great
'Cause
exclusives.
you said like the catalog's limited, but like from my experience, I think like it's limited, but bangers are bangers. Like
Mhm.
good PlayStation games are just phenomenal experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like that's interesting because as like I'm playing these games, I've got a curated list. I've asked many people like, what would you suggest I play? Because I've never played before. These last 2 years, and it's gotten to the point where every game I play, I'm like, this is amazing. Maybe I like PlayStation more than Xbox, but it's like I've played like 6 games. You know what I mean? Like I've only
Right.
played 6 games. They've all been amazing, stellar experiences. Like I played like 250 games on Xbox. You know what I mean? Like not all of them were great. Some of them sucked, and I just did it for the achievements. But like that's the difference here too. Is like yeah, it's curated. It's a smaller catalog, but it's more curated. So
Yeah, and,
I like
and,
your
and
answer.
yeah. My the reason behind my answer is just the quantity of things. If you're not into gaming, you then don't know what you like exactly. So if you have something that's that has a ton of games on it, they're all native. They're gonna just turn on and work. You don't have to I mean, you might have to update every once in a while for something, but for the
Right.
most part, it just turns on and works. 100% the Series S. That's my honest to the truth answer. Sweetie, I'm sorry. But do you have another? You said you have 2 questions, right?
I just wanted to know like what your other hobbies and interests were besides gaming. I know that you used to be like a skydiving instructor, is that right? Or something like that?
So indoor skydiving is the way to
Okay.
put it. Yeah, I used to. So like people that go to drop zones, people that worked at drop zones, military would come in, like we'd have Air Force or
Oh,
like
gotcha.
all different types of people would come in, and then also your regular customer would come in, and yeah, I would be that person that they had talked to. I'd show them the body positions that they need to be ready to assume or to do while we're in the
Right.
wind, and then I would pull them into the wind tunnel, do the body get them into the right position, be like, all right, this is what you need to hold. And people think that's easy. It is hard to do,
Right.
and it's really hard to teach somebody else that type of stuff because when we're in the wind tunnel, it's all hand signals and just me showing you something. There is no microphone that I'm talking to telling somebody, hey, put your chin down more. I'm actually just like pointing to my chin. I'm going like that. Put your chin down
Right.
more, or something like that, or your arm out further.
Right.
Just little simple stuff like that. And that was
Communication's hard.
probably that's probably, to be honest, like my favorite hobby. Other than
If you were to
that,
say like number two, like if you had gaming cut out completely, I
okay,
think
so gaming cut
that'd be
out
your number two.
completely. A really fun hobby for me that I actually want to get into more is jet skiing.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, man, I like adrenaline stuff. I like
Yeah, I
things that
could
get
see
my heart
that.
racing and me freaked out a little bit. So I really want to get more into that because
Cool.
I had a blast the last several times I went jet skiing. I really don't want to buy one. Like, to be honest, I'm okay renting it and whatnot and just being like, you know what, you guys take your jet ski back, I'm going home, instead of having to
Right.
lug all that stuff up. But maybe someday when I have somewhere to put it, I'm not moving so much, because right now, I mean,
Yeah.
as you know, I'm moving, and to drag a jet ski around from place to place, that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
I want to be able to get like a jet ski, a four-wheeler,
My
and
gosh.
like continue to live where I'm moving to. I wouldn't mind setting up shop in Iowa and just like flat out living there, because it's going to be cheaper than a lot of other places, and I want to be able to have maybe 2 acres or something like that, so I can just kind of screw around. My daughter can do whatever. We have room, yada yada yada. I mean, that's, I guess, the American dream, though. Right?
Right.
Have room.
Basic American dream.
Yeah. It's basic as fuck. But
Love it.
sweet. So I appreciate the questions, bro, because that allows the audience that is listening, that shows up here, to figure out a little bit about me. So I like to throw that
Sure.
question in there. But the very last thing I'm going to ask you before we go on ahead and get out of here is, I want you, for me and everybody out watching this to describe gaming in just 3 words?
So it's a fun, immersive art.
Fun, immersive art. All right, that's fantastic. That works.
And if you're not
really
having
well,
yeah, if you're not having fun, what the hell are you doing?
mm-hmm.
And my favorite games are always the games that immerse me. And I think gaming is like the ultimate art form, honestly. I think comics kind of compete with it a little bit because you have to use your imagination with comics, like between panels. But just in terms of like scale of video games at this point, like how many people work on it, the art, and the voiceover and everything, it just is the ultimate form of art for me.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, MrCh1valry, it was my pleasure having you on. Finally, we got the time to do this, and man, it was a blast. I learned a lot about you and how you came up in gaming. So please do myself and yourself the favor and just let everybody know one more time where they can find you before I close this out.
Sure, man. And the pleasure was all mine. Like I've wanted to get on here for a while. Just felt like the scheduling was the hard part. So I'm really glad that you were able to squeeze me in today with the double booking. But yeah, everyone go find me on Twitter. That's where I basically tweet every single day. I've really cultivated a community that I really enjoy interacting with. And it's just positive. And, you know, we don't fight about consoles. We just talk about our love of games. So find me on Twitter at MrCh1valry. Please sub to my YouTube. I'm working, you know, consistently putting out my Monday, Wednesday, Friday shorts. Monday is a PlayStation clip, Wednesday is an Xbox clip, and Friday is a Nintendo clip. And, you know, I really appreciate the support over there because I'm trying to hit 200 subs by the end of the year. So we're getting close. I'm at 184 right now. So go sub on YouTube. You can find me on Twitch, the GG app for my game reviews, TikTok, and Instagram. All just search MrCh1valry or check out my Twitter. I have my link tree on my Twitter. So yeah, I really, really appreciate you having me, Ham. Really do. It was a fantastic time. I had a lot of fun. I was nervous. My eye was twitching at the beginning. But, I had fun. I had a good time.
Well, man, it was a fantastic time, as I said before, and I'll happily say it again. It was really good. I hope to have you on other shows as well, other than this, like the one that me, Matt Likes Games, Twan, and Hard Days Mike do every Sunday.
Game Drain.
The Game Drain, yeah. That one, and then Bull Sitting every Friday I have with Loke and Cozy Beluga. If you didn't know, I'm kind of like throwing in some plugs right there. But anyways, you guys stay tuned here shortly. I'm going to be hopping back on the mic here in like literally like 15 to 20 minutes with J-Rock. You've probably seen him on Twitter because he's a wild guy. Bro says what he feels and he is very unapologetic about it. But the thing is he is more than happy to deal with the smoke. Where Chivalry would just be like, you know what? I'm done with you. Get out of here. Get out of here. J-Rock will hang out and troll you right back. So he's a very interesting person. Come back here in about 15, 20 minutes. Check out the second half of my long day of doing Behind Them Sticks. But it was very enjoyable, you guys. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of this type of content. But you guys, wonderful evening. I'll be talking to some of you guys later. And those of you that can't make it back, have a wonderful night. See you later. Thank you. Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast, brought to you by TSWS Gaming.
Come and talk to me, Lennard Ray. Come on. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby. Listen, I'm just saying we can rule the world, just me and you, if you were playing. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Look, see we vibing and you know it's true. Baby, what it do? Do for me and I'ma do for you. No doubt about it, boo. See, I'm a Midwest king, looking for myself a queen. Ready to chase a dream with a dope self-esteem. You find it in all I know, and that's for real. You get to shaking that ass on the floor, and I see what's real. No disrespect, I just tell it like it is. Do you ever want some kids? What your ultimate goals? Maybe I can help with those. The mo was broke when he made you back in the day, I'll be alive. I say I did it, that shit was a phase. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you if you complain. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation.